everyone, welcome back to my channel. As you can see, we've got some upgrades this time. I've invested in a microphone. If you guys notice anything off with the sound, please make sure to give me feedback in the comments below. This wasn't a huge investment by any means, so I'm happy to take that feedback and make some changes if this isn't to your liking. Today I wanted to bring you a book review of one of the books that I finished in August, and that is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. I read 3 books in August, and the other 3 are a Blueprint trilogy by Holly Black. So if you wanted to check out what I thought of those books, make sure you click here. If you've been watching my videos from the beginning, you'll know that I have a goal of reading 24 books by the end of the month, or 2 books a month. And as of right now, as of the end of August, I am now at 17 books out of 24, which is so exciting for me. Just wanted to add that update because it's an exciting metric for me. I track the books I read and kind of the progress I'm making, and I'm really excited about getting closer to my goal. The reason that I picked up this book was because it came up in my monthly book club, but I had read it before, and it's actually one of my all-time favorite books ever. Just like last time, I'm going to be giving you guys a brief synopsis of the book, what I liked or loved about it, what I didn't like so much, and finally how I would rate it out of 5 stars. Before we get into the video, I would really appreciate it if you guys would like this video and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming up next. It would really help me out a lot. Make sure you stay tuned to the end of the video to see what's coming up next. Let's jump right in. Okay, so we are in Goodreads and we're going to read the description. I feel like this is a great description of the book. If you asked me to categorize this book, I actually wouldn't know how to put it into just one category or one genre. It is all of these genres. Let me read the description and we'll get into it. We'll explain. Combining magic, mysticism, wisdom, and wonder into an inspiring tale of self-discovery, The Alchemist has become a modern classic, selling millions of copies around the world and transforming the lives of countless readers across generations. Paulo Coelho's masterpiece tells the mystical story of Santiago, an Andalusian shepherd boy who yearns to travel in search of a worldly treasure. His quest will lead him to riches far different and far more satisfying than he ever imagined. Santiago's journey teaches us about the essential wisdom of listening to our hearts, recognizing opportunity, and learning to read the omens strewn along life's path, and most importantly, following our dreams. I love it. Okay, so I actually also wanted to layer in a little bit about the book, just beyond what's written on Goodreads. So I've got the Wikipedia page open here, and I just wanted to highlight here, just kind of highlighting the book's main theme is about finding one's destiny. Although according to the New York Times, The Alchemist is more self-help than literature. The advice given to Santiago that when you really want something to happen, the whole world will conspire so that your wish comes true is the core of the novel's thinking. Coelho originally wrote The Alchemist in 2 weeks, explaining later that he was able to work at this pace because the story was already written in his soul. Love that. It was originally written in Portuguese. It's from Brazil. He's from Brazil. This is kind of cool, like this old cover. I've never seen this before. I also wanted to highlight some of these call outs because I'd heard that it was ranked very high, but I have no idea by what ranking system or what metric it gets ranked. So apparently it's 4th on the top 20 Latin American books to read before you die, according to the Latin Times. 8th on Big Read in Germany. 16th on Big Read in Bulgaria. 24th out of 30 books every adult should read before they die from the British Museums, Libraries, and Archives Society. 30th on top 100 world literature titles. 33rd on the 100 favorite books of the French. You get the idea. Masterpieces of world literature. A lot of hype around this book, a lot of accolades, and just good things said about this book. And I have to agree with sort of the sentiments, and I understand the hype, and I understand why this book is so beloved. To be completely honest, I don't even know where to start with this book because in my opinion, it is so profoundly deep. There are so many takeaways. According to Goodreads, the book fits into the genres of fiction, fantasy, philosophy, self-help, and spirituality. And yes, It is all of those things. It's not just one neat little genre that you can categorize it into. One of the girls in my book club said that every time she reads it, because she had read it previously as well, she takes away something different from the book. And this now being the second time I've read it, I absolutely have to agree with that sentiment. Every time you read it, you take away a different lesson. So many beautiful metaphors that the author draws upon that really get you to reflect on your own life circumstances, your own life's journey. So many beautiful quotes, which we'll get into later. I'll be reading you guys off some of my favorite passages, some of my favorite quotes. For a short book, I have a lot to say about it, so let's get into what I liked or loved about this book. First thing that I love about The Alchemist is the pacing and the length of the book. So it is very short. It's under 200 pages. I think it's something like 166 pages. Super quick. In my opinion, no filler. Every scene, every chapter has a purpose, and that is building to an overarching lesson that Santiago is learning as he goes on his quest to find his treasure. The things I like about this book might be things that people don't like about it. I found that actually in our book club that this book was divisive. The things that I love were things that people didn't like. So one example is I actually love the repetition. I love how everything is cyclical. The different parts of the book are always cycling back to the main theme of the book, which is to persevere, have faith, keep working to achieve your dreams, especially when that means having to overcome adversity. And I love that. I love the concept of the personal legend that gets introduced in this book, which is a dream that everyone has. It's a dream that everyone has that the universe is propelling you towards to fulfilling. And I just love how poetic and how beautiful that is. I also love how the story builds. Each time Santiago makes a stop along his journey, he has to recalibrate based on his current situation. And while the stops along the way challenge and tempt him, he keeps going, he keeps persevering, because in the back of his mind, his goal is to fulfill his dream. And I just think that's so powerful, because so many of us will abandon our dreams throughout our life. And when we try to come back to them later in life, it's too late. I also just loved the ending of the book. To me, I love the very full circle moment that happens. It's perfect. Chef's kiss. There are a lot of quotes and passages that I love from this book. I'm not going to spend time reading them because we would be here forever. I'm going to put a couple of my favorites at the end of the video where you guys can pause and read. But oh my gosh, like what a gem this book is for quotes. They're all beautiful. This whole book, I feel like I could quote the entire book because in its entirety, it's beautiful. So what did I not like so much about this book? Honestly, not one thing. I love everything about this book. It's a concise little package with an amazing take-home message. It fulfills exactly what it was trying to do. What could be better than a story about following your dreams? I love it. I will say, however, that I understand why this book is dividing or why some people might not like it, and that's totally okay. In my book club, there were actually some girls who had very specific feedback, and as I mentioned earlier, the things that I liked were actually things they didn't like. So it may just not be your cup of tea. Some of the girls in my book club found The Alchemist too metaphorical, too philosophical, which I understand if you don't enjoy reading kind of thing, or if you're constantly pausing and stopping and having to reflect, that might take you out of the reading experience. Some of us just like to read for other purposes. Another critique that I got in my book club was that this was too spiritual, which again, I understand. It does tie back in with God and religion. This is not a book that has strong character development. It's not character driven whatsoever. We actually don't know very much about the characters besides what's presented to us at a very surface level. I would say very bare bone details about the characters, which is not everybody's cup of tea. The book really does read as a self-help book, or I would say even also a fable. You are pausing a lot along the way to think and reflect and draw conclusions based on the lessons being presented, which is not for everyone. If you guys wanted to see me reacting to 1-star reviews of this book, it is included in my recent reactions to 1-star reviews of my favorite books video. That's where I was exploring exactly that, reading criticism of books that I loved. And Alchemist is one of the books that I most love, most treasure, unintended. If you wanted to check that video out, click here. I am ranking this book 6 stars out of 5. Yes, that's how much I love this book. It is a book that has stayed with me long after I closed the last page long ago. Now my second time reading it, if possible, I love it even more. It's, in my opinion, a little masterpiece, and I highly, highly, highly recommend it to everybody. I can see it being universally loved as it is, as it's already ranked and loved. It's one of those books that you should read. Coming up next on my channel is going to be a review of the Cruel Prince trilogy, which is the other books that I read in the month of August this year. And down the line, there's also going to be a video coming out on my thoughts all around kind of overconsumption, mindless spending, and how that ties into now the book community online, because I feel like there's some trends recently where we're kind of treating books a little bit like fast fashion. So I definitely wanted to film a commentary on that and sort of my thoughts around that topic. In the future, there's also going to be book reviews coming up on Verity by Colleen Hoover. And I'm also in the process of finishing Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros, which is the second in the Fourth Wing trilogy book. So I'm going to be doing a review of both Fourth Wing and Iron Flame in a combined video before I read Onyx Storm. Let me know in the comments below if you've read The Alchemist or if you're planning on reading it. Any thoughts around this book? Would love to hear your thoughts. So make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a thing, or like this video if you don't want to subscribe, because that would also equally help me so much with my engagement. And make sure you check out my Instagram and my Goodreads accounts. Links are in the description. Make sure to follow along there too. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are, and I wish you all a happy reading. Bye.